But look at that. Boy, you think we've got it bad. This is a great picture loaned by the Mickelbaugh family. This is Peter Mickelbaugh delivering supplies on his sled to Lowell Observatory in the background. This is the Flagstaff freight wagon of our company delivering supplies to the Tuba Trading Post in a big winter, so big that they had to take the wheels off the freight wagon and replace them with skids to be able to see the big box skids to be able to go through the snow. Tom and Mary Morton Pollock on a sleigh ride. I think that's about 1907. Snowball? Lake Mary? No, Mormon Lake. Lake Mary. Grand Falls. Bottomless Pits. Flagstaff Athletic Club today. It's a big limestone sink in the bed of the Rio de Flag. And it was really impressive. It was since filled in. This is City Pond, which is the most probably historic site in all of Flagstaff. Antelope Spring, the water source, all the early travelers camped, stopped there. Later on it was dammed up and impounded by the railroad, and a pipeline taken from there down to the steam engine, and later on became City Pond. And it looks that that whole structure is still in place, but it's been filled in a lot and looks a little bit different. Inner Basin, wintertime. A great picture again with the railroad trying to get water to the steam engines. In this country was no mean feat. So they went to Walnut Canyon out by Winona, and they built a big old sandstone dam there and put a pipeline down to the railroad. The dam is still in place, but that's what this shows. That's the dam. After a big wet winter, it doesn't hold water anymore, but it's still there. This is just beside the museum, one of the first water projects in Flagstaff, the big reservoir to get drinking water and store it from the inner basin. This shows the laying of the first pipeline, water pipes, to Flagstaff. Before that, people bought water off of a wagon that came around for $1 a gallon or something. The car came to Flagstaff, and that's my grandparents and my dad and his brother riding around in the first car. More cars. This is what they call the National Old Trails Highway. It's the precursor to Route 66. And it was an effort to make a route across the United States, kind of to promote tourism and to unify a road where people could go and see all the sights in the West. It's the Weatherford Road up the peaks. You've probably hiked on what is now a trail, but it used to be a toll road, a car road to go to the top of the peaks, built by John Weatherford. Well, the Navajos always laugh a lot about this one. And they say that's real horsepower for people. The big bridge at Cameron, 1912, across the Little Colorado River. A great picture from the Pollock family, showing one of the early outings. This is the way you knew where you were going, because this was the junction of Route 66 and Highway 89, and kind of where Walgreens is today. You see the furniture store there and the Blown building here at NAU. First garage downtown, and the Pollock Bank next to it. Another big garage deal, Weatherford Hotel, commercial hotel. The Brooks place up on the west end, combining all kinds of stuff, a bottling plant, a grocery store, a car camping place, all of that. Okay, I'm going to speed up here because I think we need to be done. Camp Townsend out of Townsend, Winona Road. This all illustrating kind of the tourism aspect of Route 66. El Pueblo, which is still there out in East Flagstaff. Then early NAU. See the great quadrangle there, and man, that would have been really neat, I think. Graduating class of 1912. Lowell. So do you know why that has that funny dome on it? Percival Lowell's wife, Constance, she loved Saturn. And so they got ready to build this library and stuff. And so she had the architect model that with the ring around it as recalling Saturn. Clark Telescope, Percival Lowell, Tomb of Lowell, Clyde Tombaugh. At the time he was looking around for Pluto. The old Ashurst house up on Aspen Avenue still stands. The reason I put it in here, it was the first weather station for Flagstaff. You see the weather box out there. Major Powell in Flagstaff, he was a big friend of the Reardons and came lots and lots to visit and stay with the Reardons. The Coltons. The first museum at the Women's Club down on Aspen Avenue. Wonderful building, again, not there anymore. The Slough, excavated and done by Major Lionel Brady at the museum. The other museum, which really was a museum before it became what it is now, the Eldridge Museum. Little military stuff here. Up at Milton, that building is the old AL&T, Arizona Lumber office, and it's still standing. Parade downtown. Parade by the courthouse. 4th of July, 1906. AL&T put together 2 of those giant logging wheel deals, decorated it all up, and that was their parade entry. So, you know, we work really hard to stage kind of almost a pitiful little parade nowadays. And they really knew how to do it in the old days. They had a big deal. 3 days of all this stuff going on. Later it was called the Days of 49, but that's over by the Federated Church. This is up near City Park at the old grandstand, not the one that's there now. Horse racing. Downtown. Circus came to town. It's right on Front Street. Okay. Powwow. So Powwow Rodeo. So I'm going to kind of close up with panorama there at the railroad in town. More logging mills, Cedar Ranch and my family. First Catholic school in Flagstaff. Snow. But pretty cool. This is where, you know, this was outside the town limits. And it's where there's a little restaurant up on Columbus Avenue now. Until you got to the museum, there was zero there. There was no Cheshire, there was nothing there. Traveling to the reservation. Parades. And that's it. So I wanted to just say one thing about how we tried to organize this, and then I'll let you go. We talked about this kind of ranching and railroad stuff, and also the timber and tourism stuff. And it's interesting to me that we struggle so much with economic development these days. And yet here we have no